welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're not. We've been here for a decade. A little longer than that, but I don't know what the word for 13 years is. Today we are here with a first impression review. I haven't done one of these in probably 5 years, 7, 16. I haven't done a first impression review in a pretty long time, but when one of you guys told me that Covergirl had recently launched a tubing mascara, you know I had to get my little paws all over it. I am no stranger to tubing mascaras, but I am a stranger to long processes or step-by-step layers or combos of beauty products this day and age. You know, like long gone are the days of like the lip combo or the multi-step foundation, concealer, contour, powder cream, layer, setting. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I only have time for Jesus, my husband, and my kids. That's it. And my 2 little traumatized chihuahuas. Other than that, ain't nobody got time for any of that stuff. Recently, I've been talking a lot about the Tarte Tartelette XL tubing mascara, the one in the gold tube. It's my go-to, it's my favorite, because in the past I would layer my mascaras. Do you guys remember? It was the Rimmel Lash Accelerator, black and like kind of this ochre, gold, yellowish neon tube, and then stack it with a volumizing mascara, whatever I had on hand. It was a combo. Yeah, it was a combo. And that was to achieve the really voluminous tarantula legs that a lot of you love. A lot of you also equally love and hate. And so with tubing mascaras, I get the best of both worlds with one product. So I have tried a lot of tubing mascaras. Before we get into it, there's going to be a few of you that say, well, what is a tubing mascara? And that is what I'm here for. You know, it wouldn't be a first impression if I just went straight into the first impression, because then that would be, you know, neat and efficient. We don't do that here. So a tubing mascara is a mascara that uses a polymer base to coat your lashes, and once it dries into a tube. So it's almost like putting a mitten on your hands. It puts a mitten on each one of your eyelashes. Tubing mascaras are great for those of you that have oily skin. If you have droopier or bigger eyelids, you will get smudgy at first, but once you clean it up, it prolongs the wear of your mascara. It does not flake. It does not smudge. And it's also really good for people that have sensitivities or sensitive eyes, that cannot use makeup removers in the eyes, that cannot handle the rubbing, because a tubing mascara comes off with just a couple of splashes of water. You kind of let the mascara soak a little bit, and then it comes right off. A secret bonus is if you're a crier or an eye rubber, you're not going to get the raccoon eyes at the bottom, because it will literally just come off in tubes. It's actually a pretty fascinating product. I discovered tubing mascara through Thrive Causemetics. It's that really cool, philanthropic, good for animals, and it's a really beautiful brand. They have all that like dark turquoise packaging, and I think I learned about it from, I think it was Thrive Market, when I was trying to order like cleaner cosmetics, and I fell in love with it. But Thrive Causemetics are really hard to find anywhere except directly from the website. So I'm so happy that I found the Tartelette XL one that I really enjoy. It's a good all around, you know, I'm always happy with the results, although Thrive is my #1. A few of you guys have mentioned the Milani and the e.l.f. tubing mascaras. I have tried them both, and I'm not a fan. I did not like either one. Tubing mascara, I think there's only one way to be a tubing mascara, and that's just dark, rich, and really good, you know? A thing to consider too is price. At the drugstore, you're gonna get a tubing mascara between, I don't know, $6 to $14. And the Thrive Causemetics one, I think, is $25 or $26. The Tarte one is $28 8. I think it's 28. I never get it for 28. It's literally always on sale. It's 21 days of beauty. It's 30% off for friends and family. It's 35% off for Singles Day. It's like always on sale. Do not ever pay full price for that. So it really varies. So if you're looking to get a tubing mascara, the thing to consider is it is long lasting. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't flake. It's good for oily skin. It's great for sensitive eyes because of the ease of removal. And you're going to get length and volume and separation in one mascara. That is a very hard thing to achieve, which is why the mascara combos were born. You'd get one for lengthening and separating, you'd get another one for volumizing. So when you're gonna go to work, you're just gonna do this one. When you're gonna go out, you're gonna do this a lot, and you know, you're gonna kind of play, mix and match. You like the wand on this one, but you like how wet this one is. With a tubing mascara, it's just all in one. It's a one package deal. So needless to say, when I heard about the CoverGirl one, I got really excited. So here's the thing. Here's what the packaging looks like. It is a $9 to $13 mascara. So I got mine at Target. It was like $8.80 or something, because you know, you get the 5% off. And then I saw it on the Ulta website for $13. Varies from $9 to $13, and it comes in 2 different colors, black and brown. So the packaging is really cute. It definitely catches your attention when you see it at the store. Typical mascara, right? And I gotta say, I really liked it. But you probably want to see the first impression part, so I'm gonna jump into that. Let's just jump into the first impression part. So one of you guys said, can you please try the new CoverGirl one? I was like, new? I can't remember the last time I tried anything from CoverGirl. So anyway, the CoverGirl Eye Enhancer Wrap Tubing Mascara with 30-hour wear. This is what the packaging looks like. I saw a video the other day that said, can we please stop doing this? I don't know why we started doing that. Do I do that? I don't think I do it. Or if I do, it's totally an accident, or it's to show you guys my manicure. This mascara comes in 2 different colors, in black and brown. The black is called Max Motion Black. And we're gonna try this. So let's go ahead and do a first impression. I don't know how I'm gonna film this video versus like intro versus the body versus the conclusion. So I do wanna get into it because I have to drop off the boys in like the next 10 minutes. Wow, the packaging is beautiful. Look at that. It's like a, never mind, I just answered my question. This is a very hard plastic. It's a hard plastic. It is a hard plastic with ribbing on it. CoverGirl, seriously? So it is a hard tube, plastic tube. It has the raised letters of the name of the mascara, CoverGirl Eye Enhancer. It has ribbing on it. It has these metallic letters that say wrap. I'm sure this is to kind of simulate the waves of like the tubes that wrap your eyelashes. And then when we open it, I already like the sound of it. It sounds wet. There is a silicone wand, which is my favorite. I do not like the natural bristle ones. I don't know, they're not my super faves. It smells like a classic mascara. I have my mirror here because your girl is 40, okay? She'll be 40 and 41 and she'll be 41, okay? And I wanna, hold on, it's a little too bright. I don't want to blind my sisters too. I already curled my lashes with my very favorite lash curler. And like I typically do with mascaras, I sweep under first. Oh my God. You probably can't tell how much product was deposited just on one swipe. I don't know why I re-dipped it. It absolutely did not need me to do that. So then we're gonna go up. If you hear the baby screaming, there's a very important Pokemon match happening at the moment, so we're figuring that out. I have to drop them off at their dad's for a couple hours right now, so I'm trying to just get ready. I wanted to get ready without rushing, but it was like one of those times where you have a little too much time but also not enough time to just wing it. So like if you lock in, as my kids would say, if you lock in, I could swing it. Otherwise, I was gonna have a lot of like time in between. And I need to be productive, you know what I mean? So super first impressions, I really, really like how wet it is. I tend to like drier mascaras when I'm trying to build volume, But if you guys remember, and if you've been here since forever ago, gosh, it's over a decade now, I used to layer a lengthening mascara, the Rimmel Lash Accelerator with the yellow top. It's kind of like a skinny tube. I used to layer that first for length, and then I would go in with a volumizing mascara on top, either the Lancome or MAC or whatever I was loving at the moment that was going to give me the drama. And then, I don't know, the makeup trends kind of changed, and I was like, I need to keep things as easy as possible. Milani threatened to, I'm sorry, did I say Milani? What is the brand? Rimmel London, Rimmel Lash Accelerator. It was not Milani. Did I say Milani before? It was Rimmel Lash Accelerator. They kept threatening that they were going to discontinue that mascara, not discontinue it, not discontinue it. In the process of doing so, it was really hard to find. So that, with me kind of stepping away from beauty so much and kind of simplifying my routine, I was like, I really don't want to do the whole 3 mascara combo, 3 this, you know, contour, powder, concealer, foundation, full coverage, lip liner, lip combo, lip gloss. Like, sure, you got me through some really trying times, makeup, but I think it was because it consumed all my time applying 97 different kinds of makeup products. I want to make sure I'm still in focus. This mirror, I'm afraid, is going to become the focal point and make the content blurry. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. So far, the ease of application is amazing. The wand is really good. It separates your lashes as well as grips onto them and kind of brushes through. So it's easy to do the stroke motions, you know, like the brush through. Oh, there I go, covering my face again. So the use, the ease, the simplicity of using it is great. This would be a really good tubing mascara for those of you that like a more natural look. The whole concept with tubing mascara was it's easier to use, it's long lasting, it doesn't smudge. So if you have oily skin or you have trouble with like droopier eyelids, if you have sensitivity to your eyes and you can't use cleansers at the end of the day to like eye makeup remover, tubing mascaras just come off with water. It's magic, let me tell you. But typically they're very dramatic. There's a lot of volume. So ideally, it's a great mascara for those of you that just like to do one pass and you get the natural look with very little effort. Now, the secret, the pro tip is for people like us, and I'm saying us so that I don't feel alone in the world, for people like us that really like the tarantula look, the drama, the really bold lashes. I mean, you can go in with 2 or 3 coats and you are gonna look like you have lash extensions. I think typically with mascaras, they are designed for length and separation or volume. If they ever claim to do all of those things, they're gonna do one of those things poorly. It's a very hard combo to do length, separation, and volume with one product, which is why most people tend to layer their mascaras or will wear falsies depending on the look that they're going for. So I don't really vary my eyelash mascara look. I like it to always look, you know, like I am related to a tarantula. That is just what I prefer. I know there are a lot of people that really like that almost just tinted look. No, like if I'm gonna go through the trouble of putting a wand to my eye and potentially blinding myself, I wanna make sure that it looks like 8 things are crawling out of my eyelids. This is, I'm very surprised. This is a very natural looking tubing mascara. In my experience with the tubing mascaras that I've tried in the past, it's not, maybe it's just me. I just keep going with them. You know what I mean? I just keep going and they get more and more dramatic. But this is a great tubing mascara. And you know what else? It's really great tubing mascara for beginners or those of you that are slow applicators. I know that sounded insulting, didn't it? Some of us take our time. Some of us talk really slow and it drives people like me really crazy. So there are a lot of people that really are methodical in the way they do their things, pragmatic. They take their time. Some people take their time with makeup. And so products that dry really fast are not their friends. This product doesn't dry slow or fast, which is really essential for a tubing mascara, because if you have a drier tubing mascara, you are gonna get clumpy in the first few seconds, and that is not the goal. You have to remember that this is a polymer that wraps around your lashes, and once the polymer dries, it creates a tube or a wrap. And so if the polymer is already drying and you're taking your time kind of brushing out your lashes and styling them, and did I get mascara on my lids? No. You're taking your time doing your lashes, styling them, kind of brushing them in one direction, brushing them in another, then you don't want a quick drying mascara, because you're gonna end up with really thick, goopy, kind of globs of mascara on your lashes, and that's not the vibe. Wow, that's really pretty. I mean, and the price point is so fair. Okay, so those were 3 wet layers. I didn't wait in between to let them dry. I was kind of rushing through it. So that might be something you want to consider if you're looking at getting this mascara. On my first impression, I did not wait in between layers. So right now it looks less dramatic than it probably would look if you waited between layers and still did the 3. Does that make sense? So I rushed through the 3, didn't let them dry in between. If I had, they would have been a lot more dramatic than they are right now. You guys know how I like to do my bottom lashes. I always go in vertically instead of horizontally, which kind of freaks people out a little bit because, you know, you could poke your eye. But, you know, I've been on this planet long enough and done my lashes like this long enough that I'm still probably gonna poke my eye one day. So I don't recommend it, but I do feel confident and comfortable doing it. I don't know about how I feel doing it while I'm talking, but I think I'm doing a good job so far. When you guys left me the comment about this new mascara, I was like, how do I not know about this? Like, I don't want to be flooded with new makeup releases on my Instagram. Like, I don't want to be flooded on socials. I don't want to be inundated and like overwhelmed with how many new product launches there are. But if you guys tell me, it's really exciting, because that's like catching up with your friend and she's like, oh, did you hear about the new blah, blah, blah? And you're like, oh, I want to find it. And so that taste, that excitement for hunting it down is probably one of the coolest parts, or the most exciting part, one of the most exciting parts about, you know, getting into this beauty world or community, was the excitement of finding out about new products and then tracking them down. I'm not talking about like trying to get the sweet peach palette, like not like that. That was anxiety. That was full anxiety. I'm talking like, oh, there's this new product. Have you tried it? No, but let me track it down and see what I think. So I love it. This is great. So if that was you that told me about the new CoverGirl tubing mascara, I should probably take this off now, huh? I mean, I was getting ready. I do not spill my food. I could wear a full, entirely white outfit all day and be clean at the end of the day. However, I cannot say the same thing for when I'm putting on my makeup, which is usually why I do it in my pajamas or give myself a bib. I'm gonna head out the door. I need to drop off my little coconuts, and I will be right back to tell you my entire full review on the new CoverGirl Eye Enhancer Wrap. Really beautiful packaging CoverGirl mascara. Okay, so there you have my thoughts. I'm a huge fan of the tubing mascara idea. Now, it wouldn't be a first impression or slash review if I didn't talk about the pros and cons, right? There is some talk about some people having issues with tubing mascara because the polymer gets in their eyes and bad things happen. So there is that risk. But the way I look at it is it's very minimal. Like, it's not something that is profoundly known right now. It's not like there's been 1,000 different cases of women with polymer fake mascara in their eyes, right? Or like fake lashes in their eyes. And so it's kind of one of those things where it comes with risk, just like using an eyelash curler, just like using eyeliner in your waterline. It's one of those things where my mom would say, la belleza cuesta. Beauty comes at a price. And it's like a known risk, but it's only a risk if I don't know, you don't remove it properly, or if you poke your eye, I mean, there's risks. There's just, every time you get in your car and go to the store, there's a risk. It's like that, you know what I mean? It's not like a worry work kind of thing where it's like, oh, don't do it because 1 in every 2 people like get a corneal abrasion. It's not serious like that. But I wanted to share that part because some people are really, really, really particular about their eyes. Have you ever met someone that like refuses to use contact lenses? I will use glasses forever as part of my personality, as part of my look. And you know, you understand there's some people that refuse to wear contacts. Parker's oldest daughter, part of her personality and her look is like really cute glasses, but she's like, you're not coming at me with contacts. So I know people can be very sensitive about their eyes. You only have 2 after all. That's something that you want to consider, you know, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. Okay, and now moving forward in this direction that we're heading in with makeup, where we're like getting away from the lip combos and getting away from like the stage or the drag makeup where you're layering and you're baking and doing all that stuff. We're kind of simplifying our routines and we're going back to the imperfect. We're going back to seeing the skin texture. We're going back to just looking like you. And I think along with that comes, you know, not needing 2 or 3 different mascaras. And tubing mascara is a good option because it's going to give you the length, the volume, the separation all in one. And it's really cool. I think it's great. You saw when I was applying this mascara, 1 coat, it gives you a really beautiful, fluffy, natural, dark look. If you go in 2 or 3 coats, you're going to get the drama. So 1 product that does all the looks that you want with mascara is pretty cool. And you don't have to do falsies. A lot of people will not do false lashes. I love how I look in false lashes. It's really hard for me to compliment myself. I love how I look in false lashes. However, they make my eyelids so heavy that I'm like, I look like I'm falling asleep because my eyelids, I could feel the weight of the lashes. Isn't that weird? I think it's just a sensory thing, sensory overload. If you want to venture out into a tubing mascara, factor in that it's going to simplify your mascara routine. There comes some risk with it if you do not know how to use it properly. The ease of removal is wonderful. It would be a great vacation mascara because then you don't have to pack a makeup remover. You know, just your cleanser is enough. You don't even need to use cleanser, but I just mean for the rest of your makeup. Now that we're seeing how well tubing mascaras are received, you're gonna start seeing them a lot more often, a lot more readily available. I had to track this mascara down because I thought I could just walk into a random Walmart and find it. I can't find it at Walmart. I found it at Target and I found it at Ulta. So I think it's gonna be one of those things that's slowly gonna pick up pace and you're gonna be able to find it within every brand. But then comes the factor of like, which brand do I like? So think about the one, think about how you like your mascara to look. One thing I will say is with tubing mascaras and with my experience, I'm not a really fast mascara applier, but I'm also a very rushed impatient person. And so with tubing mascaras, I do feel like they dry a little bit faster than regular mascaras. They dry fast like volumizing mascaras. You know how volumizing mascaras have more of a drier, moussey texture? While a tubing mascara is a very wet mascara, it dries as quickly as like a volumizing mascara. So that's something to consider. And I'll show you guys, just by using it, you do have a little bit of overflow that comes out from the top, and you see how wet the tube is? Like there's a lot of product in there, but any time that you open it and close it, you're gonna get a little bit of drying and product loss because there's so much product in there. So anytime you pull it out and you push it back in, you're pushing air into the tube, so you're slowly gonna dry out your product. Now, a $28 mascara versus a $9 mascara, I'm okay with it drying out a little faster. You know what I mean? This might be a good alternative. If you've been thinking about trying the Tartelette one that I keep recommending to you guys, or you're a fan of the Thrive, I wouldn't say that they're dupes for each other, but it is a great alternative if you want to look into trying a tubing mascara. Anyway, I think I may have answered all your hypothetical questions, but if you have any additional questions on this video, this review, or tubing mascaras, I would be happy to answer them in the comment section below. Other than that, if there's any new products out there that you think I would like to try, like I said, I'm over oversaturation. Like I'm over that. I unfollowed a ton of brands, a ton of content creators that were like, this is the new release, this is the new release. When you guys tell me, it's so different. It is so different to find out about new products that you're curious to try through you than it is through other avenues or social media. You know what I'm saying? You totally understand what I'm saying. Anyway, I will link this mascara, the Tarte mascara, the Milani mascara, the e.l.f. mascara, the Thrive mascara. I'll link them all in the description box below because I'm pretty sure one of those is something that might tickle your fancy. You guys, I don't know, if you haven't tried a tubing mascara, I really think that this is one of those things. Like, this is not a new palette. This is not a new color scheme, a new color combo. This is an actual different type of product. So to me, that's very exciting. So I would definitely recommend, if you have sensitive skin, sensitive eyes, oily skin, that you check it out and see if it's something that you like. Anyway, that's it for now. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.